Hey guys, welcome back to this tutorial. We're going to be talking about list in Python. In the previous tutorials, we've worked with numbers and we've worked with strings in Python. Those two types of data types are not just the types of data we use in Python. There are also other types of data, and here in this tutorial, we'll be looking at lists. Now, a list, as the name implies, means list that has more than one. It contains more than one value. Now, if you look at this variable I created here, the variable is named courses and I created a list. In Python, when you are creating a list, you simply denote it with square brackets. So this square bracket means you are creating a list, and then you pass in your values, you write in your values, and then you separate those values with a comma. And that is just the simple way to create lists. You can create a list with different types of data type. It can be list of numbers, a list of text. But here I've created a list of strings. A list of text, yes. You know, as I said earlier, I said text are known as strings in Python. So here I created a list of containing 5 strings, and I denoted each of the strings with BCH, MCB, GEO, KM, and ZOO. So you don't have to worry about these jargons. They are just my abbreviations for some courses in the university. So you can replace them with whatever suits you. So here I have a list. Now in Python, there are some few functions that you can use that are inbuilt that you can use to manipulate your list. If you've not watched our previous tutorials, I would recommend you to go and watch them so you get to understand these functions better. So here there are some inbuilt functions that we are going to use to check the values of our list. So firstly, let's print our list using the print function. So when you print this, we get our list printed out. We have BCH, MCB, and so on. So if I want to get the first value of my list, I would simply say print courses, then I use a square bracket to pass in the value that I want to get. Now in Python, value starts from 0. In Python list, the value starts from 0, not 1. So this BCH would be of index 0, MCB will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I pass in 1, I would get MCB printed, because if I want to print the first one, I have to pass in 0. So let's print this, and you see we have MCB. So if I want to get the first value, I would simply just say 0. So if I put passing 0 here, I would get BCH. So that is the way to index your items in the list. So if you can pass in as many, if you want to get more than 1, I can say from 0, then you put colon here to 2. So if I say from 0 to 2, it will start from index of 0 and it will stop at 2, meaning that the index 2, the object at the index 2 will not be printed. So if I print this now, for you to understand what I'm saying, you see I have BCH and MCB. So it will start from 0, 0, 1, but when it gets here, it stops. So if I want to get these items from 0 to 2, and I want 2 to be included, I would have to write 3. So it will start from 0, 1, 2, and then it stops at 3 here. So if I print this, I would get GEO included. So I have BCH, MCB, and GEO. So that is the way to get more than one item from your list. So you can also get the last item by using negative indexing. So if I say colon then -1, this will print out the last item from my list. It will print out everything -1. To print out everything -1 because there is colon here. So if I remove this colon here, it will print out the last item of my list. So you can see I have zoo here, which is the last item. So but when you put colon, everything -1. So you understand the difference now. So you can also add values to your list by using the append function. So courses.append, then you pass in the value you want to add in there. So if I execute this now and I print my courses, I would see that this value POL has been appended to my list. So you can see here that I have BC. I now have six. I have a list that has 6 values in it. So I can also substitute. I can also change values of my list. I can change values of my list by calling out the index that I want to change and then assigning a new value to it. So here courses to, so remember it starts from 0, so it means that I'm changing. So if I start from 0, 1, 2, it means that I'm changing the value of geo to rm. So if I print courses now, I would no longer see geo. I would no longer see geo. So you can see here geo has been replaced with rm. So here you replaced it with a list, but if you want to remove it and replace it as a normal value, so you can see I now have BCH, MCB, RM replacing my geo. So you can also delete specific indexes. So I can say delete by using the del function, courses index of 3. So index of 3, that would be 0, 1, 2, 3. That would be chem. So if I print courses now, I will no longer see CHEM in my courses. So you see, this is the original list and it has deleted this CHEM. So I now have BCH, MCB, RM, ZOO, and PO here. So also, I can remove specific values. I can say remove. So I can delete at index or I can remove specific values. So if I say courses.remove MCB and I print this, I would no longer find MCB. So you can see I have a shorter list now. So MCB has been removed and now I'm now left with BCH, RM, ZOO, and PO. I can also print, I can look at the length of my courses. I can look at the length of my list by using the len, L-E-N function. So it will simply print out the number. So it's printing out 4 based on this last value here. So I have 4 items in my list. So if I remove all of this, so you don't get confused, and I print out the length of my courses, you see I have 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're using the length, it counts the number normally. But when you are indexing, when you want to get a value, you count from 0. So I hope that it's clear enough. So you can also concatenate 2 lists together. For example, I created another list called more courses, and it's a list PHY, physics, mathematics, computer science. So I'm concatenating the 2 lists together, this courses list and this more courses list. So I'm using the plus operator to concatenate these 2 lists together. So if I print this new variable named total courses now, I would get an elongated list. So you see I have BCH, Chem, everything that includes values from these 2 lists. So there are more functions that you can use with lists. There are endless functions that you can use with lists in Python. This is just an overview of how you can create lists and manipulate the values in Python using some inbuilt functions. So working with Python, especially in data science, you'll be working with lists every now and then. So you need to be more familiar with the concept of the sequence data types in Python. In the next tutorial, we're going to look at another type of data type that is called tuples and dictionaries. So I hope I'll see you in the next tutorial. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get updated if I upload new content. Thanks for watching.